guys, this is just a quick meal and I decided to go ahead on and record. This meal literally takes about 10 to 15 minutes maybe. So the ingredients, like I said before, is the penne pasta. That is actually my preference, but you can use whatever you like. But I just like these. It's just always my favorite. The Bertolli garlic Alfredo. Yum. I actually add seasoning, but it's great. And then, of course, chicken breast. I only use one, but if you would prefer more chicken, you can use more breast. So, okay, first I'm boiling my water. Since I did spaghetti before, someone says, aren't you supposed to boil the water? I'm like, oh. I didn't know I was supposed to boil water first. I've been cooking for years, and I have never done that. Fail for me. Anyway, so I just pour that in. I actually have a little bit of olive oil already in my water just to help the noodles not stick. So I'll let that go for about, I believe, 10 minutes. Okay, 12. Okay, 11. While that's cooking, I actually take my freshly washed chicken breast and I am actually going to cut that. You can cut it any kind of way, but I usually just slice it and then I come back and maybe cut that in half. I told you guys before, I'm very greedy, so I like to get to my food fast. So I will cut that into my little pieces. Okay guys, so once that is all cut up into the pieces that you desire, I just have a bowl and I place my chicken pieces inside of this bowl because I'm actually going to season in here and get it all mixed up together. I'm going to, of course, go wash my hands before I touch all of my seasonings. And then here are all my seasonings of choice. Of course, you can use whatever you want, less salt, etc. My go-to, of course, is the Zatarain's Creole seasoning. Hello, hey Creoles. Excuse me, my allergies. Lawry seasoning salt. Lovely accent, wakes up the food flavor. And clearly I'm pouring that now. And Mrs. Dash, only so I don't over-season my food with salts. And I don't ever measure, I just kind of sprinkle it over. And the lemon pepper, I love lemon pepper, just gives it a little tang, and cayenne pepper, my fave. Gotta have the garlic powder, a little bit more pepper obviously. Garlic powder, just whatever brand you prefer, but and the parsley flakes. So once we have all of that seasoned, I simply take my hands and just mix. My clean hands, by the way. I just find it easier to mix that way as opposed to using a spoon or whatever, because I want the seasoning to stay and get worked into my chicken really good. Oh my god, that looks amazing. I want this right now. So I'll have my nonstick pot that I'll be using to cook my chicken. I'm going to use, I cannot believe it's not butter, and I'm probably going to be using about a tablespoon of butter, and eventually I believe I end up adding more. But I just let that melt down in the pot. I have the heat on medium. I usually start it off a little high, medium to high, and then I let it simmer later on. Alrighty, once the butter is completely melted, then I simply place my chicken in the pot. And I usually kind of just place it flat, every piece. I don't know if it's the OCD, but it's just my preference. As I stated before, I do add a little bit more butter just because I do not want my chicken to become dry. Now another option is to add a little bit of olive oil instead of the butter. I'm being a little bad, so I went with butter. So once that has been cooking for a while, just to start browning, I will start to flip over my chicken. And by now my fire is on a more of a low temperature, a little medium low. While that is cooking down, I will now place my garlic bread in the oven. It is just generic garlic bread that I got from my local grocery store, Ralph's, which is equivalent to Kroger's for you down south people. And I'll just stick that in the oven, as they said. So now my pasta has completely cooked. I'm going to add the Bertolli's Alfredo sauce. Try to get all of that out before I add water to the mix. Once that's out, I will add about that much of water inside. Once I do that, I'll put the top back on and of course shake that up really well so I can get all of that left over, and then pour that. And I don't like dry pasta. I like it to be, just a little bit more runnier. So if you would prefer yours to be a little stickier, then you can kind of omit this step. I actually season a little bit more. I use the Mrs. Dash. And of course with the chicken, I do not drain. I use the sauce that was made with the chicken. I pour all of that in, so it gets a little buttery flavor, and you're also getting that seasoning from the chicken. Mix that up, and then we're going to let it cook a little bit. Okay, I've let this simmer for about 10 minutes or so, and I usually check it. I may add a little bit more seasoning or water, but I believe I just end up mixing it a little bit along the way, and yeah, that was it. I hope that you guys like this meal, and I hope you enjoy.